Let's get the recording going. Get that all started. So this one is the piece that we were actually, one of the pieces we were missing is right there. That little flat, what? I think, is this too far forward? Oh yeah, put this one. And make sure I got this in the right spot. I was double checking the instructions. And then it turns out that there were 3 panels here that I thought I was missing. What it looks like is instead of using 3 individual ones like it shows in the instructions, they basically swapped to one of these whole panel ones. And that's what caused a little bit of chaos there. So because I found the other one, because there's going to be duplicated on the other side, I'm like, am I really missing that many pieces? Oh yeah, I should probably do that. So we've just got the Jaws ambience. So I'm gonna get going into this. We got Bruce here, and I've stuck the minifigures onto his base. Her base, sorry. And got the shark. He's a shark. Got that over there. Brick separator, always important to have. And I'm gonna put slightly out of view my little brick bins here, just so I've got a good working area to work in. Just make life easier and make things a little more tidy and organized. Unlike how I usually do things. Maybe, have things, look a little bit better as we go through and get the build done. Okay. So, I gotta look for something, because this is... So we're gonna be building, like, the mirror version of this, is what's in the instructions. But looking at things, and look in the box. One, two, three. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to look and see if we have comparable pieces in here, because I appear to be missing, like, the whole ass other section of this. Like, they sent me they packaged it, and it's missing a whole ass bag, is what it feels like. Because I'm missing, like, these light blue pieces. I have no more light blue pieces. Like, that's all the light blue pieces I have left in here. So I'm confused because I'm missing, literally, aside from this hinge, and this, let me get the pieces that it's saying that I need for this piece right here. That. So I'm missing this piece right here. I am missing 4 more pieces. This is an exceptional rarity for Lego. For there to be literally big chunks missing. I've never had this many pieces be missing. So I'm gonna have to put off the jaws a bit longer, it looks like. Because they just whole ass didn't include other stuff. And I was kind of nervous about that. But it looks like I was wrong in how much they just flaked on, apparently. So, time to pivot again. This is just an extreme oddity. I mean, it's weird. It's very, very weird. Because it's an exceptional rarity. But let me take care of this part, because let me see if they change things up in the book and okay. So, gonna pivot again, because we may not really be missing stuff. But I've been going with the instructions on my iPad, like the digital instructions. But those don't match up with the book. And I think, from the look of it, I may not have been missing any pieces from the book version, but I was from the digital. So we're just gonna retry this and go with the book version. And just dismantle all of this and see where we are and see if we're actually missing anything via the book version of the build. I don't super love that we seem to have, the digital should be the most up-to-date version, and everything matched up there for a while. And that should be. But I guess there was a difference in the book version. So we're gonna go with working from the book version. But that means that I can have chat properly here So it's not really like Lego screwing up directly in there, just in this particular situation. I don't know why the digital and the physical are different. No, I'm not. This is weird. Like, this is genuinely weird to me. Because that's one thing that I've never had. I've never had the digital and the book version be different. Because, like, in the digital instructions, this piece that I'm about to put on is supposed to be just flat. Whereas in this version, in the book version, it's got the studs. And so we're going to go with the book version. And see how this goes. Because theoretically, the digital version should be the most up-to-date and most correct. And that's not what we've got. I mean, maybe it is, and they changed something. But, like, this wasn't here in the original version. Sorry, I've got this blue part wasn't there in the original version. Or in the digital version. Get a little more height on there. It's weird. I'm not defending them. It's weird. Like, genuinely, I find this to be peculiar. And, like, everything matched up with the book version and digital version up until this point. Like, the point where we are now at. Like, we built this. But now it's this and a slope. And this in here. That there. And, like, that's how it's supposed to come out according to the book. And our hinge. And so there's a lot less pieces in this version, so this must be the newest version. And I mean, yeah. This actually makes sense to me. And I've got all the pieces for it. And again, congratulations on that that watch streak, Code Lex. The lovely Miss Luna. But now I'm going to have to, like, pay attention in the future. Like, way more than I have in the past. To see if there's a difference between the, like, if I'm missing something, do I have to check the book? And, like, see if that's different? Because for so long, basically what I do is I just do the digital version because it's just really more convenient. And it seems, but what it seems like is that the book version is actually more stable because there's a lot of stuff here that's bracing stuff that wasn't that's not in the digital version to like make this more solid. And that's the weird part to me. But we're getting there. Making that there progress. Dumpy dump so we can find our plates to cover and lock these in. Well, on a doom of a Spanish lady. Well, on a doom of ladies of Spain. Dum, dum, da, da. Tired and I wanna go to bed. Drink about an hour ago. And it went right to my head. But yeah, it's just some weirdness. Like, I don't think it's been a very long time since, I don't think ever, where the book and the digital instructions were vastly different. There's that. Really? I guess we'll go to the beach closed ambience, because apparently I'm shifting the Orca over here just to give myself a little more room to work. Yeah, no, there's no excuse for this. Like, there's no reason why that I can think of why this should be so vastly different in the digital and physical instructions. But here we are. I mean, I at least appreciate Lego has the digital instructions. But when they're not when they're not correct and they don't line up with the set you have in front of you, they're not actually useful. Especially when, like, you look at the digital instructions, you have part of the pieces that the instructions say you should have, but not all of them. But it turns out there's a slightly different version in the book. I mean, how far am I wrong in other things? Am I missing other things that are gonna become an issue later? From like earlier, doesn't look like it, but I'm hoping I don't have to like go back like 6 steps. Fortunately, it seems like this is the only one that's got this. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird that we got some true like stuff don't match up. Stuff at this point. And I mean, it's a shame because I mean, usually Lego's a lot better about that. But when they screw up, they seem to screw up real big. I completely forgot a step in here real quick. Gotta fix that. Sometimes when you get a little frustrated with things, you miss stuff. Bottom. Bottom. I'm gonna line everything up and get it all pressed in. So that's how it's gonna be when it's upright. Like that. So weird. So weird. So dumb. Get these pieces all set and mounted. And I mean, now we're building another piece that goes in the middle here. It looks like more stabilization for this part. I don't know. Weird. Weird, 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 weird. I think this is going to be the platform for the buoys, for the barrels to be shot out from. Dun, 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 dun. See, what's nice about the digital instructions, hey, chicken, good to see you. Lego is usually better at it, better than this. This is, I'm going to say, I still hope this is an exception in this situation. I know it's a little bit of copium. Gonna be huffing that copium a little bit. So how you doing today, chicken? Hope you are doing well. I'm just having some ranting and ramblings. Ah, Delta, I'm very fresh with a puzzle. Yeah, I've been having a little bit of rantings because it turns out that like I stopped this a couple of weeks ago, just before the kind of the break when Luna came to town, because we were missing some pieces, and it turns out that the digital instructions in the Lego application are different than the actual physical instructions. So, sitting here thinking I'm missing pieces because I had the pieces for some of it that matched up, but they weren't the correct instructions for these pieces that I actually physically had. It seems like this is like the book instructions are a more stable version, but I don't know why they'd have the oh high difficulty reaction puzzles. Oof. Yeah, I can understand why that'd be a little on the rough side. Timing based puzzles always the bane of those with no rhythm. And I speak as one of those people with no rhythm. I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying I don't. Get that set. I got this mounted on here. No. There we go. I flip her over. Yeah, so now things are matching up, and I will have extra pieces because I was missing stuff that, yeah. Yeah. Oi, oi, oi. Mount it in here. I'll slide this in here. Don't get stuck. The theme of this build, for me, there we go, stuff not lining up. Okay. Yeah, see, these are the pieces that I was waiting on, that it said it was missing. That turned out to not actually be necessary based on what the version that I physically had. Dumb. But I don't see why they wouldn't they'd update the physical book, but not the application. But it just means we got to do a little bit more. We gotta use the actual book as opposed to putting the boat over here. I get bag 5 of them. We do also have an additional piece here. This little rope there. Get our bins. Get our bag here labeled. So when we're done with bag 5, we can put our extra bits in there right away. Retrieve that. Since I am a bit of the chaos builder, looks like we only need one of these, so we'll take that one, put the little rope in that one. And I'm doing these mainly so the smaller bits don't roll away, because I do kind of have a problem with that occurring due to my build surface. So I'll put this one out to the side. Or maybe we'll pick a couple of colors to separate. Do the reds and dark browns over here. Yeah, it seems good. I'm going to start building these. So hope everybody's having a somewhat decent day today. Chicken's having some quandaries with a reaction-based puzzle. I know from having spoken to her off stream, just put that in here. Luna's dealing with some work frustration, but hopefully that improves over time in the day. Awesome. Hey, one try or 36 tries, as long as you manage to get there, you reach the end, and that's what matters. You were eventually successful. Gotta keep trying. When things don't initially go your way, you gotta just keep going at it. When all else fails, just keep trying. Like there are lots of little printed pieces in here. A piece of mail on this desk here. On the desk with the clock and the compass is gonna go right in here. Slot right in there. And then we're going to start building the windscreen here at the front. Okay, now I see why they've flipped the direction, because this has the receptacles for the studs on the bottom and the actual on the top, and the studs actually on the bottom for how they need it to be in there. So we had to reverse things around so that we can actually get it to mount. Ba-dunk. We got a panel of windows here. It's going to slot in. Nice and snug. You have the actual windows. This is going to mount right in there. Right here on the front. All the reversing of the directions of the studs so we can make things look aesthetically pleasing. And here we are going to start building the barrels. A smooth bottom. These are going to mount in here like this, so the smooth is going to be on the top. For the barrels. So we got our first two barrels all set. I don't know if we're going to be building more later. Let me get those mounted there. These are the barrels that they shoot into Jaws. Spoilers if you haven't seen Jaws. But they use these to try and keep track of Bruce. When I say Bruce, that's the production's name for the shark, not per the script. So now we got to apply more stickers. We are going to have a whole platform up here on the top. Because this type of boat has the controls up here on the top as well as in the cabin. And the cabin is a little small for things, but we're getting there. That sounds reasonable. I highly recommend seeing Jaws at some point. Jaws was really the first summer blockbuster movie. So without Jaws, movies coming out in the summer and being the big deal that they are would not have been a thing. And a lot of people don't realize that without Jaws, having the big summer action movie just wouldn't have been a thing. Like, at all. So we got the ones with the boat's markings on either side with the numbers. And just start putting in Technic pins. Good old studded Technic pins. Yeah, later Jaws version, like later sequels to Jaws, kind of went off the rails. And I apologize for the drop frames, everybody. That just seems to be the lot in life right now. Yay. I'm trying to keep an eye on the feed. I've got my iPad here with chat on it that I'm looking at right here. Just out of frame. that finally on there. Try and get these even directionally. And now, since this is going to be going up here, and what's interesting is that they're using to create kind of the rope rails at the front of the ship. They're using droid arms, like the B-1 battle droid arms. For like little stanchions. I'm guessing this rope is going to be going along these. And we got some hot dogs involved. We got a hot dog involved in the process. Because Lego back in like the 90s was making new pieces for every set. And it'd be used for that set and like nothing else. And when you realize that making the injection molds for a Lego piece, or even not a Lego piece, for anything plastic, is nowadays about 10 grand to make a piece. It is decidedly cheaper to get creative with what you have than it is to keep making new things that you're going to use once. Because Lego, like the biggest toy company in the world these days, because they did do the smart thing and embrace the Lego adults, which are just as feral as Disney adults. I mean, let's be realistic. Till I see you again. I got this is gonna go down there. And this will kind of slot in and line up here. Let's see if I got this all the way in. I do. This seems long, but there's no shorter one. I'm gonna go in here. Aha. And these two pins are gonna go in to hold this whole mess in place. And this part's gonna fold up and in there. We're starting to have a fishing boat. Just the good old headset again. And see, now you can't even see that there's openings down beneath here for studs, receptacles for studs. The only ones we got visible are those. At least the only ones we got super visible. She's a little on the longer side. Just sailing through the frame. Burning. Burning. Farewell and adieu, fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. Yeah. Rotate. Rotate. Pivot. 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 We got this one built. We're going to put it in here. And get that in there. And that functions to give us some a different view, and also allows us to hide the crimes of those the open stud receptacles on the bottom that are just below the launch platform. On that side, we'll be doing the same thing on the other side. Where did I shuffle my brick separator? Not that I need it, but there you are. Gotta make sure I got everything handy. Farewell and adieu, my fair Spanish lady. Farewell and adieu, my ladies of Spain. See you again. And then now, just like that last one, we'll get this mounted over here using the earlier installed hinge piece. I got those all matching up. And we're going to start making parts of the deck here. I'm just looking at what we got in the instructions, seeing what we got. just kind of functions to stabilize this one. And again, keep hiding stuff we don't want visible. Borrow. Bottom. Bottom. Got that guy mounted there. You can see the barrels are all nicely lined up. Hot dog. Hot dog. And we're almost done with the Orca. Now what we're doing down here is we're putting the mounting points. Is now we're going to start building the base. So these are going to be how we can have additional things mounting. I don't know what's going to mount onto these, but we've got that set. Oh, wait. No, we're not done with the boat yet. We're just done with this end of the boat. Let's put the extra bits and bobs into bag 5. In the bag. Get in there. Homeboy looking for his dog. I think this was when they found the body, is what that line is from. It could be wrong. Oh, indeed, Jaywatch, indeed, W. They had a couple of L's earlier, because it turns out that the instructions in the app that I on my iPad that I do most of my work from don't match up with instructions in the book, but the instructions in the book match up with what's actually in the packaging. So yes, W to Legos, L on this particular packaging and setup. But don't get me wrong, I do still love me my Legos. My Lego bricks and sets. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Hopefully everybody's new year, as we are recording and watching this on the 2nd of January, 2026. I'm hoping that this year goes better dramatically than the last. Because 2025 was 2020 Part 2, let's call it. That's how I'll call it. And as we all know, 2020 was not the greatest year in history. In 2020, to a lot of people, when things started to go downhill with society and a lot of other things. I do like that we've got cords, since there's no end on one end. I think those are going to be the lines for the sail, or for the kind of the crane. Get the camera. So now that we got him built, for now we're going to put him with the other two minifigs on the Bruce base, with Quint and Sheriff, and with Quint in the Sheriff. We'll put him over to the side for now, just to make things a little bit easier to work on. Keep the working space tidy. I got some chain here. That's always fun when we got chains to work with. Whips and chains and megaphones. Let's see what we. You gotta love when we got a paint roller. It's always fun when you get paint rollers. See how those are gonna get used. I don't care about Liberty Mutual. I don't know why some of these ambients are kind of on the short side. But I guess it is what it is. This all set. And I get this mounted here. Is our pot puller for pulling the lobster pots. And we got our oxygen tanks. Which caused a little bit of consternation, but also proved to be invaluable. In the defeat of Bruce. Get these mounted on here. For our scuba tanks. Our oxygen tanks for the scuba. Scuba! And this is going to go right in here. Got a lot of creative choices going on here. We are eventually going to be mounting, I'm sure we're going to be mounting back here, the seat, or the actual fishing pole, fishing line. This is this over here, the crane that they use to drop the shark cage down. That there so it remains visible while we're doing this. One of these guys. Getting that all mounted there. That guy got mounted right here. You can kind of lay out of the boats. Because you never really think about how the boat is laid out in the movie. At least I don't. I didn't. In my youth. Okay. Ah, there we go. Put the red pin in the top here. I'm mounting up a bell in here. Need to go home. I'm tired and I wanna go to bed. Had a little drink about an hour ago and it went right to my head. Yup. Well, later this year, yes. That's the beginning of when things went south. We'll say. There is the old joke that you definitely don't do on Twitch. Because that'll definitely get you in trouble. And le ban hammered indefinitely. So that I can go slow ahead. Come on down and come somebody's shit. Sheriff Quint, the sheriff getting a little testy about having to chum the water constantly. Chum in the water, chum in the water, chum in the water, chum in the water. More and more chum. Mounted there. Starting at our height for the boat. For the mast. I don't know enough about boats, or at least not as much as I would like to. But, I mean, it is what it is. I live in a landlocked state, have for all my years. Technically, there's opportunity for me to go out on the water in lakes. But I don't think you need a boat as big as the Orca out on a lake. We're dropping stuff. Our sonar for our, I don't know which things these are. Yeah, and there, another one of that. Red pin in the top. And we are starting to run out of pieces, and that's a good thing. Okay. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I think this is gonna go this way. As we're getting our full height out of this. We got like a top hat here. Stud in. Paint roller. Or another bell. Shift that over there so you guys can see the get it right up into the lens. Definitely got some height using the whole height of my build space. And we're putting this guy right on there. And I mean, where you can see we're getting kind of near the endo of things. We got our chain in here. We got that all mounted there, so we got this. Yeah, that pulled top there with the chain. And we're gonna start running. All our cords. Which are taped with a little bit of masking tape. I gotta tie them down on these. Da, da, da. Put that in that bin right there with the other rope. Oh. Screwed up there. Supposed to go through there. And not around. Okay. Sounds good, chicken. Glad to have you with. You been playing any rivals lately, or mainly just chilling out with Deltarune? Lately. And always glad to have you, chicken. I feel like I want to grab my tweezers to work with this. Come on. Come on. Go. Tie. Doom Dark Age is nice. I'm not much of a Doom player, but Dark Ages does look good. I don't know, maybe I'll try it at some point. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to be playing for my single player stuff next week. Yeah, that's a little taut. Go through. Worst part, trying to tie a knot the right length. Nice. Yeah, I can understand how that is. Reliqual is always important. You really learn that uh playing tabletop RPGs like D&D and particularly Cyberpunk and Shadowrun and those. Um because you always want you never want to sacrifice the cool for the rules. Always make things more interesting if you can. Like, if a player wants to do something cool, then, let fly. As long as it doesn't, as long as it's not detrimental. Ew. Go in there and stop fighting me. Stay in your home. I didn't mess with anything that you should be there. I mean, the rule of cool is the reason why, when it comes to tabletop games, tabletop RPGs. It's the reason why like stuff like Critical Role works so well. Because, you know, as long as it's not out of the realm of reason, for the universe, let the thing happen. Yeah, that was a lot easier than the last one. Okay. Is that really the end of it? Huh. A lot of extra bits this time. They all get combined into a single bin and dumped into bag 6, which I hadn't labeled beforehand. Bottom. Bottom. I hope that Luna is doing well with her work and that she's not being just run ragged by the idiots who employ her. Or her co-workers that barely know what they're doing. Da-dun. Da-dun. I think I'm loose somewhere else. Ah, there's our problem. Okay. Yeah, understandable that. Sorry, it's gonna be just a second. I have to. Seem to have lost cohesion in here. Gotta. Okay. See, and this is why they will occasionally change things up. Possibly the one in the app instructions is a more solid connection. That one there. It's there we go. Stay together, boat. Stop fighting me, ship. I mean, you gotta make sure that you understand the parry. If you got a game with parry mechanics, you're gonna have to make sure everybody understands those parry mechanics. So you gotta get those out of the way right in the tutorial boss. But I've never been a huge fan of any of the Metal Gear games. Like, there are a lot of games that I'm just not... that I just seem to not vibe with. Popular games, I can understand why they're popular. I can understand, like, the allure. But I also recognize that they're just not for me. And I mean, it happens. It's not all games are for all people. Yeah. Oh, I know about that one. It's made by Platinum, I believe. If I recall correctly. Yeah. No, I completely understand. Get that there. I feel like we're going to be having something that's going to snug this up at some point. Yeah, yeah, just that it's, I don't know, it's just maybe it's that some stuff I just don't vibe with the universe of it, which there's nothing wrong with that. Um, I like the concept. Let's see what we can find in the chaos of the build. There's that one. Goes there. Ah, so that's how it works. And the other problem with the paper instructions is that, like, in the digital instructions, you can rotate things around and see how things are going to be laid out. And it's super nice. Because you can get that glimpse as to how things are going to have to be laid out. You got that stupid mast. Trying to get things all mounted on the underside. I kind of wish that they had taken and done all of the underside pieces at once, as opposed to, hey, we put on the mast, and now you gotta do shit on the underside of the boat, where the mast is going to interfere with things. Especially when you're trying to do it on a hand cam with only so much height, and the mast gets right up in there. Bring these back in. Because we're making more barrels. Gonna make them there barrels. Barrels! Since we have not yet started yeeting them at the shark. Shift the boat over a little bit. Shift things all over a little bit. And what I do genuinely love, it's always amusing to me when, like, I'll watch stuff from Lego content creators with, like, a big following and all that. And they talk about how, like, there's a new piece in this set. And I'm like, I have seen that for decades. Well, hey, at least you now know that it's there, so you can go back and do it when the time comes. Once you do that, when you do that run, you know that it's there, as opposed to oh shit, I have to go back and I can do this. I should have been able to do this, but I didn't know that it existed. I'm trying to find a piece. And a piece. Da, 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 da. This set has a lot of direction changes. I notice. Like a big overriding theme with the like a good chunk of pieces in this is getting studs to go from one direction to another a lot. Because I've got studs there, I got studs there, I got studs there, I got studs there. Got stuff that we're building upside down. Dun, 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 bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. The thing about making stuff that changes direction a lot like this is that you do have to do a lot more stabilizing because you only have, like, on the bottom of this, there's only one stud holding this, so you got to make sure you put that stud on top so you're not losing the uh so you're not, so you still have plenty of grip strength from all from the directions, so stuff's just not going to fall apart. Like, that's why I think maybe they may have changed those instructions, but they didn't update all the sets. And like, I'll look and see if there's like an update thing from Lego for this set, and maybe I'll go back and redo those that bag 4 that the front of the ship that's not quite correct, or at least not quite how the online instructions are. Did I do this part wrong? I think I did this part wrong. Boop, boop. Take those off. This is because the next piece seems like it should be laying flat, and it wouldn't have been able to with the piece the way that I'd put it. Again, one of those things where this could have been corrected if the instructions on the iPad were correct or matched up. I mean, not to say that they're not correct, they're just not correct for the version that I've got. Because they do occasionally update their sets, which is, fine, but annoying. Because if you got the older version, it's like my Wally came with the updated pieces. because they found that his neck didn't work quite right with the way that they'd originally done it. So I think this is we're building the roof of the ship. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I mean, at least you know about it. It's the kind of the benefit of not being one of the first people to play the game, because you can sit back and find out what you can use, what others have learned. Especially in something from the creator of Undertale. That one in there. Into our steering wheel. So we can drive the boat. Yeah, so this will be up here. Probably right about there. And the developer of Deltarune seems to have kind of a habit of doing stuff, having stuff hidden. And so, like, coming at it after the fact, you can find out about stuff that you can use the stuff that other people have learned uh through playing the game, so you have the opportunity to use what others have learned. Um After the fact. It's one of those benefits where, like, his games seem like ones where there's a benefit to not being, unless you want to be the person making the discovery of the hidden secrets. Um, Seems like there's a bit of a benefit to being one of the people who comes after. So you can find all those things. Um, so you put the shark mouth on there. This the right way. There we go. Yeah, and here's where we're gonna start attaching this to the roof of the boat. these all lined up. Here we go. And here's where we start locking things together, because these little pieces were initially held on just by that single connection. And boy, is that flimsy. Ready to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Da, 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 da. And put our little searchlight up here. Get the life preserver. A foghorn. Life preserver on the other side. Rotate these just so they lay flat with the green and red studs on there. Like I figured. It all mounts right up here. Shift this over. That's good, Luna. That's good. Hopefully it feels better. Gives you a little more confidence. There we go. And there's the Orca fully taken shape. Big old mast. I'll start putting in the fishing rods. Since can't have a fishing boat without fishing rods. Okay. Well, hopefully it starts to feel better soon. Yeah, Luna's just dealing with the new tattoo stuff. Kind of coming in. So we got the big batch of fishing rods now attached. And we're going to be making the ladder to go up to the upper portion of the deck. Yep. There goes my headset turning off. 1 second. Unfortunately, I have a nice long cord. There we go. In case any of you all decides to surprise me with alerts while I'm assembling the Orca. Yay! What games do I like? Love the Danganronpa games. My favorite video game of all time is Mass Effect 2. I'm looking forward, as a result of that, I'm looking forward to the new Expanse game coming out from Owlcat Games. Bring this in so you guys can see me getting the ladder mounted. Out of the way, pieces. You're great. Genre. Tend to really like sci-fi. Gameplay-wise, love visual novel. I like kind of grounded. It sounds weird saying this is when there are plenty of things that people like, but this game should be right up your alley, and I'm like, nah. Yeah, it's eclectic. It's just like some devs just don't hit with me, and that's kind of why it's like, well, I'm not a fan of this. Oh, that dev just didn't work for me. Like, for my tastes, yeah. Pretty much if you see me playing it here on the channel, it's gonna be one of those games that I do enjoy. Or at least it strikes my interest. What about you, Chicken? Because I know you got a fairly vast kind of batch of interests. I know I've been getting Luna into some of the stuff that I'm into lately, with the Borderlands games I really enjoy, and have for a long time. Those are some I really love. So we got the life jackets. Let's see if I can get my Tidy that over to the side. Got kind of life jackets. Got this the overboard rings, the chum bucket. Now we're gonna be building the quinch chair for fishing. Yeah, I wish that I could be more specific on, like, what I like. It's just, like... Love Cyberpunk. Didn't think I was gonna love it because I don't typically like first-person stuff. But turned out I really did enjoy that. Action Devil May Cry, OG God of War, RPGs. Love good old JRPGs. Was definitely my thing. Going back long time. You are the longest freaking... Ah, okay. We get Quint's chair. We have our shark cage. We're putting in right there. And it looks like that is the Orca. All built. So we have the Orca finally finished. With bag 7 completed. Yeah, understandable. Cyberpunk was one of those things that, like, I don't really like first-person shooters. But CD Projekt Red managed to bring me into it with Cyberpunk. So, well, we finished that. So we have the Orca. We have Bruce. So now I'm going to set these both aside so we can start building the base plate for the diorama. Where we get that ocean going. For the Orca and Bruce to live in. I won't go that far off to the side. Start bringing in our plates. Bag 11 here. I don't know why nobody's done that. That's a good question. I think that a lot of devs, like, if you're sitting there going, why didn't somebody do this? Either nobody's thought about it, or they can't figure out how to make it work. Because sometimes that happens where you just can't figure out how to make it work. You want to, you'd love to, and you just can't quite figure that out. And also, like, hack and slash platformers really did tend to be a thing back in the 80s with, like, licensed games. Like, take a look at, like, Splatterhouse. Back in the day, and like the Friday the 13th game. When you're playing as Jason. I think it's a matter of okay, so like Devil May Cry kind of thing. I could swear I've seen something that's kind of in that vein, like hack and slash platformer. Yeah, I'm not sure why there haven't been more attempts at it. Let's go with. Wrong way. East away. Okay. I mean, I'll definitely keep an eye out for stuff in that vein. Because I mean, it makes sense that, like, yeah, that's something that I can't see a reason why more of that doesn't exist. Oh, and then if you guys hadn't seen, there's the good old new tattoo. He's looking great so far. Okay, we got that assembled. Put that over the side a bit. We'll start bringing in some of these kind of street plates. These kind of slots in here. Indeed, Luna did pay for my new tattoo. It is an amazing tattoo by an amazing artist, paid for by an amazing woman. Let's put that down there. We're getting making progress on this. Gonna be a big base. Put that over to the side so I can get the next kind of batch of pieces together. And when you're starting to build out like this, you get the real, like, fiddly stuff. Oh, Jedi Academy? Oh, yeah. Remember, I'm one of them there internet ancients and gaming ancients. I remember Jedi Academy when it came out. Let's put it that way. When it came out on PC way back in the day. In the day. He's decided it needed to come off. You gotta have the big base so it'll fit the whole Orca plus Bruce. I really enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order. I've been enjoying Jedi Survivor. I need to get back to that. I didn't really fall in love with the universes. So, like, Jedi Fallen Order, um, the Mass Effect universe, those. I'm really looking forward to the new Old Republic game that's going to be coming out. Being made by by one of the original runners of BioWare. So that's going to be a great thing. Looking forward to that. We got our big old base plate. Shift that over a little bit. Lay this down here. So I'm going to start filling in these nice smooth borders. Getting everything locked together. Bring this back in. Another reason why I like having the iPad for my, bring this over here, for my building, because it doesn't quite get in the way as much as a book does when you're trying to do some of this. And then when you start filling in these gaps here, with the white water of Bruce coming out of the ocean to go eat half the damn orca. Stupid fish eating half the boat. I'm starting to make stuff for Bruce breaching out of the water. Set there, and we can put that. I'm going to try and shift this a bit so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Glad the lighting is staying the way it should be. At least for now. We're getting all the bits of Bruce coming yeeting herself out of the water. And bag 11, fortunately, had no spare bits. Putting it over to the side so I can at least still have bag number 11 for things. So, if there was a singular thing that you would like there to be a video game of that there is not, what would it be? Also, let me label this, because in this step, they tell you literally to merge and open up both bags 12 and 13. So for this, we're just going to treat them as one bag. For the most part. Rhythm-based looter shooter. Have you tried Curse of the Necrodancer? I know it's not a looter shooter per se, but Crypt of the Necrodancer. There's another one that's similar to that. That I think you end up firing the guns and you are the bullets. It's like bullets that fire the guns kind of thing. Some weirdness. Let's put these up here. I think we're just going to have to go full chaos mode. Put bag 12 there. Bag 13 over here. And I do need to step away for a couple of minutes. I am going to be right back. So I have that one in there almost purely. I have a couple of songs in there that are there almost purely to get chat talking about things when chat's a little quiet, just to irk some of them into saying stuff. And it worked. You got frustrated enough to say something. Um, I don't know. I kind of enjoy it. I want to watch the movie, but I don't know. My usual movie-going companion has a hatred for it, because of its popularity. Yeah, which you take a little bit of pride in having never seen. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Frozen is. I actually think it's a pretty decent movie. Um, but I'm not gonna be like, "Ooh, you gotta watch this." No, to each their own. Especially when you got something that's like you said, it's you had some songs in the movie, one in particular, that just got so overblown and overused that for some it's just they never want to see it because it was such a thing. And I mean, understandable from both sides. I think it is a matter of because it was so thoroughly used for flipping everything. People just kind of hit their limit with it, and then it just kept going. And I mean, sometimes that happens. Can I help you, Fisher? I got the. I think this is where Bruce comes up, and you're gonna have the Orca over here. The Orca over here. So we got the Orca back over here, which I can barely get through past the... Yeah, Fisher, that's not a great spot for you right now. Fisher, I love you. You're great. That's not a spot for you right now. You can say hello to chat with the top of your head. But I can't have you up here right now. Tuck this kind of over to the side for the moment so I can... at least try and look at some of these. But, get these... Aha. I was trying to snug them up a little too much. Got more pieces, but this base plate is just friggin' massive. I'm trying to get things to play nice. Build this one. Bring this over. That's gonna go on there. And we get the opposite direction one, all built here. So nice. Your other one worked just fine. Don't be a jerk. So now we're going to start filling in this area over here. So this is going to be fun. Bombada. Do 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 do. Move these over here. Shift that pile up there. So right now we're building the base plate from of course these come off. A second. The Orca. Get the mast to the other side. That goes along with Bruce the shark from Jaws. So what happens is that the Orca and the shark both fit on this whole ass base plate that we're building. And right now I'm just trying to move pieces because I discovered earlier that there are two different versions of the instructions. And the version of this set that I have is not the one that's in the iPad digital instructions. So trying to make that all work. I'm going to come in here. There we go. Now you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I'm not having to fully hold everything all of the time. And conveniently, there's a piece I was looking for earlier. And we need this guy here. It is rice. It is. It is very therapeutic. I love building Lego. I have way too many Lego sets. I spent a problematic chunk of the trash fire that was 2020 building Lego set. Various Lego sets, because that year was garbage. But building Lego did help the year feel better. So, I'm hoping that a return to form starting the year building Lego continues to help. Because I don't know, this year just already feels better than last year did. Yesterday felt a lot better than any time during 2025. So, I have, I'm literally looking at the Bird of Paradise and the Lucky Bamboo. I have, there, along with Leia's Bausch helmet, Vader's Star Destroyer, the Tall Neck from Horizon, the 25th anniversary Millennium Falcon. The Bird of Paradise was a great build. The only kind of problem with it is one that the Ship in a Bottle also had, which is, oh hey, dump a bunch of fucking, just dump a bunch of pieces in here, to make it look like gravel or dirt or water. Like, that's kind of a weird one. I think the Bird of Paradise uses that one. That technique. When it's just loose pieces in the bottom. But that is also why we've got the Jaws background music, or background audio. Gotta find the right plates and such to put in. I am one of those chaos builders when it comes to Lego. Oh yeah, the bags. The bags are numbered. But it's, for the most part, just kind of dump and go. Oh, the chaos method? It's certainly less stressful for me. Knurling just, like, I don't know, it doesn't work for me personally. My brain doesn't play well with that. I don't know or care who that phone call is coming from. Fourth cup of coffee. Thank you for reminding me. I had a Red Bull earlier. I'm having myself some G Fuel right now. So probably not the same level as you, but I do have gamer subs. I have a non-caffeinated blue screen babe made. But I have the G Fuel that I've had since before I started getting gamer subs, and I just need to use. I need to not have it anymore, and yeah. Um, I just need to not have it anymore. Um, and so since I don't want to have it anymore, but I don't want to have wasted the money, we're going with the using what we got. Yeah, I would I rather be drinking the gamer sups? Yes, very much so. Um I like the flavors. I like the less grittiness. So, conveniently, since it is Keurig's, it's fine. Remember, do not get Starbucks from an actual Starbucks because their baristas are on strike. And we do not cross picket lines in this chat. This is a union chat. Yeah, Starbucks baristas have been on strike since October? And if you look in the lower left-hand corner right next to the New Mexico flag, you'll see my the bug for my union, which is IATSE. Since I am film crew when I'm not VTubing it up. But yeah, Starbucks baristas have been on strike for a hot minute. And the more annoying part is that the not only are the executives, you know, just being jerks, um, they're literally doing everything they can to fight their baristas. They've been union busting very, very hard. And yes, Luna is very much a matcha girly. I also may not be a girly, but I do enjoy myself a good matcha. Hopefully, you guys are getting a decent view of the build at the moment. But yeah, you can look up Starbucks Workers United, and you can find out all the information from their union. It is, hence the yeet. Uh, Let me hear you say yeet. Actually, let's, hopefully that came across from the soundboard. Look at all the stuff. They're gonna have the shark breaching over here onto the boat over here. Just working on getting all this situated. Find the right pieces. Come on. The unfortunate thing is we start getting near like when things are starting to get a little dark here. And I lose some of my lighting from outside. And I have no lights over on this direction, so I've just gotta... Oh, I love Deliverance. One of my favorite builds that I do. I had to change it up because I had it on everybody. But I made a personal rule. Applies to no one that I'm playing with but me. It is just a me thing. I play with at least one perk from, like, if I'm playing Survivor, I must have at least one perk from that Survivor equipped. So like, if I'm playing Jeff, my usual build is Deliverance, Breakdown, A Scruffy, Boil Over, and Flip Flop. Because that's one of my favorite builds. Hopefully you had a good day there, Scruffy. And hopefully I know you came in the chat yesterday, but hopefully the new year is treating you well. Oh yeah. Deliverance Breakdown, Boil Over is great because it gives you more chance to get the wiggle. And Flip Flop also plays in there nicely. That's good to see, Scruffy. Good to see. I am genuinely hoping that for everybody, in all aspects, that this year goes better than last. Because I feel like it should. It's already feeling better than last year did. Like, the vibes just seem better to me right now. I could be wrong, but I like to think I'm not. Why is that, Luna? What can I do to make things better? I mean, I know part of it's because you're stuck back in Florida for the moment. But that's it. That's a temporary condition. Well, I'm sorry to hear you say that. I was hoping that things were starting to go better for you, at least that you would feel better. It is a genuine shame. Here we got our mount for the shark. Ready to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Right to my head. Shift things down a little bit. As we'll start to fill in some of these areas. You're filling in big swaths of blue plate. I love that right after he says that, like, the shark just pops out of the water. She's like, hi. Hey there. Yeah, I can understand that. The football game. So who's playing right now? That's of matter. Ah, Navy versus Cincinnati. Okay. I love Jeff the Land Shark. Jeff is great. You play Rivals Race? Okay. Well, if you ever decide you'd like to, Luna and I do play that also. one of the herd of games that we play. It's gotten really interesting since they added a rogue and gambit. Who was nice? Congratulations, you team won. The boat boys won. Yeah, they added rogue. They added gambit. Rogue, gambit. Who's the last one that was added when you stopped? That you can think of. They added Emma Frost. Fantastic Four. Okay, since then they've added Emma Frost, Blade, Gambit Rogue. Yeah, Fantastic Four is back in season 1. Season 0 was where it was the initial one. Then they added Fantastic Four over the course of season 1. They've since gone through to shorten the seasons. So the seasons are only 2 months now. They're in the middle of the Jeff Holiday event, which is like Splatoon. They added Times Square as kind of a social hub. There's been a little bit of not a negative way, Fortniteification. At least I don't consider it a negative way. Within Rivals. Oh, okay. When you're sitting there going, did I use that piece in the wrong place? And you go, oh, and you discover, no, I just wasn't paying attention properly. So this is the old 1980s Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. The classic from the 1980s. Oh yeah, it was on reruns for friggin' ever. Bum ba da da. Wanna go to bed. Da, da. I had a little drink about an hour ago. And went right to my head. Yeah, I grew up with that. Luna and I have a batch of people that we know that also did, or at least one other person. So now we put on our jaws. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Okay, am I missing something? I'm sure I am, but I can't tell, and since I can't tell, it doesn't matter. So now we're gonna retrieve Bruce here. And Bruce actually separates. Get our crew there. Okay. So that's how they did it. That's smart. So we just pop the tail off of Bruce. And Bruce herself actually just mounts there. So the tail stays on the stand. I'm going to take the Orca. Does the Orca really just rest on here? get everybody into positions here. Tip her up a little bit. Here we got Bruce, the shark, trying to take a munch out of the orca. And there we go. What I miss is Saturday morning cartoons actually being a thing. Because like in the late 90s, there was a big initiative from the government for educational television that just flat out killed off Saturday morning cartoons. It was just like, we're not going to have cartoons anymore on Saturday mornings. But yeah, so here we go. We got the orca, which I gotta get this line in place again. We got the orca, the base plate, and Bruce here having a little choppy chomp. And I love that, like, the orca even overhangs the base plate. Like, they were trying to get away from Bruce so much that they're actually overshooting it. While Bruce is trying to eat the ship. Or boat, sorry. It is weird that there's no, like, mount point. I guess there's a slot, that little circular piece that kind of locks the boat in place but gives it a little bit of play. But then you can just pop Bruce up and slide her on there. And for those of you that don't know, Bruce very much a female shark. And if you know anything about fish anatomy, you can tell on the model. Named after Bruce because of Steven Spielberg's lawyer. But yeah, so there is the orca all assembled. Thanks for joining me for that. I am going to step away for a couple of minutes and get things situated. Hopefully Luna's off of work shortly. And we'll be able to get in quickly some multiplayer. If you're watching later on YouTube, thank you for joining me, and thank you for all of this. Remember to come on by at twitch.tv/RavenWisha. There is a link over in the YouTube. And for any of you who are watching live, you can do !YT, and that'll give you a link to my YouTube channel, where I am doing uploads of all of my stuff that I do. At least single player playthroughs. I am doing, I just got things set for my adept runs of Dead by Daylight, and all of that. Thanks for joining me for this, and I will be back in a couple of minutes, with some multiplayer.